Kate is happy to sign books at the signing area after the session. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited for this session. This is going to be the highlight of the festival for me. I know it. I first heard about Kate Tempest some years ago in London, and it was as if she had come out from the horizon, this bolt of light and sound and energy, but mostly this bolt of intent. I heard about her performances, and the words people used to describe them were mesmerizing, fierce, intimate, kinetic. Her works include plays, novels, albums, poetry, and all of it is acclaimed. Her album, Everybody Down, was shortlisted for the Mercury Music Prize. Brand New Ancients, her long poem, won the Ted Hughes Poetry Prize and a Herald Angel Award. And her most recent book, Let Them Eat Chaos, which is what she's going to perform for you today, was shortlisted for the Costa Award for Poetry. Kate is a poet of interesting dimensions. She writes about the epic and the ordinary, everyday odysseys. She writes about London, Southeast London, where she grew up and still lives. But when you hear her, you know that she is talking about the here and now. She's talking about you and me and the stranger over there. She knows what divides us and binds us, and she's inviting us to look at our lives, at what we've created. She chants, she sings, she speaks in the mode of the old poet seekers, and she does so with great intensity and power. She talks about capitalism and gentrification, celebrity culture, political corruption, global warming, terrorists, migrants, selfies. In other words, she talks of now, but she is also reaching back. She tells us that the gods are here, the gods are in us. She reminds us that what we have learned, nothing from history, that meaninglessness rules, and she urges us towards the simple act of love. Her words are physical, beginning in the body, sounding out, and the stories she weaves are the stories we have to explain ourselves to ourselves, our species, our kindred. Let Them Eat Chaos is set on a street in London. The time is 4:18 a.m. and we are introduced to 7 characters: Gemma, Pete, Esther, Alicia, Bradley, Zoe, and Pius, 7 perfect strangers. It reads and sounds like a film in rhyme. It questions the myth of the individual and takes us out of our rooms and clubs and houses into the street. It suggests that one way to survive this winter of discontent is to make connection, to join, to understand the collective, so that we may make better sense of understanding reality. I am so excited to introduce you to Kate Tempest.
1, 2. Thank you, Tishani. Can you turn up the wedges a little bit? A little more of the mic in the monitors, please. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, a little bit more. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Thank you. Before I start, I just want to thank you all for being here and to say that this is my first time in Jaipur. It's my first time in India. I feel blown away, extremely humbled, honored to be here. It's been an incredible experience. After this session, I'm going to be flying away, and I just want you to know how large this place is in my senses and my heart. And yeah, thank you very much for sitting here. This is Let Them Eat Chaos. Picture a vacuum, an endless and unmoving blackness, peace, or the absence at least of terror. Now see, in amongst all this space that of light in the furthest corner, gold as a pharaoh's coffin. Now follow that light with your tired eyes. It's been a long day, I know, but look. Watch as it flickers and then roars into fullness and fills the whole frame, blazing a fire you can't bear the majesty of. Here is our sun. And see how the planets are dangled around it and held in that intricate dance. There is our earth, our earth. Its blueness soothes the sharp burn in your eyes. Its contours remind you of love, that soft roundness, the comfort of ocean and landmass. Picture the world. Older than she ever thought she could get. She looks at herself as she spins, arms loaded with the trophies of her most successful child. The pylons and mines, the power plants shimmer in her still, cool breath. Now, is that a smile that plays across her lips? Or is it the tremor of dread? Is it the sadness of mothers as they watch the fates of their children unfold? In now. In kaleidoscopic vision, the colors like drugs in your belly churning, your skin pulled loose as a pup's, shaken, then flattened, and everything's flashing, and the waves are magnified as they roll up towards you, and you're tiny as sand, just a speck. Now, as you approach the surface, all of that peace that you felt is replaced with this furious, never-known passion you're feeling. The people, their faces are bright in your blood. You are feeling. You want to be close to them, closer, because these are your species, your kindred. Where have you landed? Uncurl yourself. Stand up and look at your limbs, all intact, clothed in the fashion. This is a city. Let's call her London. And these are the only times you have known. Is this what it's come to, you think? What am I to make of all this? At any given moment in the middle of a city, there's a million epiphanies occurring in the blurring of the world beyond the curtain and the world within the person. There's a quivering. The litter in the alleyway is singing. People meet by chance, fall in love, drift apart again. Underage drinkers walk the park and watch the dark descend. The workers watch their clocks and they fiddle with their Parker pens while the grandmothers haggle with the market men here, where the kids play and laugh until they fall apart. It's kiss, chase and dancing till it's mistakes and darkened rooms. Too fast, too soon, too slow, too long. We move around all day, but we can't move on. Is anybody else awake? Will it ever be day again? Is anybody else awake? Will it ever be day again? Overflowing plant pots, fence posts, decorated door numbers, motorbike beneath a tarp, beaten up punto, goalposts painted on them green garage doors. There's a rainbow on that wheelie bin, there's stickers on that window. Smart flats, rough flats, can't get enough cat flats, 17 cat flaps, rich flats, broke flats, new flats, old flats, luxury bespoke flats, and please, this has got to be a joke flats. Pensioners, toddlers, immigrants and Englishmen, families of 6 kids, single businesswoman. Everybody's here trying to make or scrape a living. The fox freezes on the alley wall and stands still, sniffing. Bare branches sway in the front gardens. The lion-mouthed door knocker flaps in the breeze. Street lights glint on the beware of the dog sign. The beer cans and crisp packets dance with the dead leaves. It's 4:18 a.m. At this very moment, on this very street, 7 different people in 7 different flats are wide awake. They can't sleep. Now, of all these people in all these houses, only these 7 are awake, and they shiver in the middle of the night, counting their sheepish mistakes. Is anybody else awake? Will it ever be day again? Is anybody else awake? And will it ever be day again? So we start on the corner with our back to the wall, next to the old phone box where the tramp leaves his bedding. The road runs ahead of you, houses and flats either side. Go ahead, walk down it. Go past the yard with the caravans there behind the hedges. Now look, here, in the house opposite. Black gatepost with a concrete frog squatting on top of it. Through the hallway, ancient wallpaper, nicotine gold. Up the stairs, rickety, loaded with history. Here in the top flat, flowers on the windowsill, little breeze fluttering the petals as they stare out at the city streets. Gemma is awake. What woke her? Open eyes. Street lights float slowly through broken blinds. She watches the shadows play across her tattered carpet, and she holds herself tight in the room's half darkness. It's cold. Gemma wedges her hands underneath her armpits. It's 4:18, and Gemma's thinking. Before I was an adult, I was a little wreck, peddling whatever I could get my grubby mitts on. Ketamine for breakfast, bad girls for drinking with. I gave them puppy dog eyes for the acid on their fingertips. Heads in the base bin, lips without faces, getting feisty. Half-baked in the bakery, eating pastries, desperate for a body who could save me. But I never really wanted what they gave me. Always wanted something else, sweating in the dole queue, spitting like a villain in a pantomime. Old shoes, bad teeth, drinking in the rain with my ghosts, sitting in the back of the class comatose. Villains on my back in the dark, hold me close, but you never held. I did some things I swore I'd never tell. That night you tried to kill me, run me down with your car. All we deserve, the wrongs of our past have resurfaced. Despite all we did to vanquish the traces, please, my very language is tainted with all that we stole. To replace it with this, I am quiet, feeling the onset of riot. Riots are tiny though, systems are huge. Traffic keeps moving, proving there's nothing to do because it's big business, baby, and its smile is hideous. Top-down violence, structural viciousness. Our kids are dosed up on prescriptions and sedatives, but don't worry about that, guys. Worry about the terrorists. The water level's rising, the water level's rising. The animals, the elephants, the polar bears are dying. Stop crying, start buying. But what about the oil spill? Shh, no one likes a party pooping spoil sport. Massacres, 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 new shoes. Ghettoized children murdered in broad daylight by those employed to protect them. Live porn streamed to your preteen's bedroom. Glass ceiling, no headroom. Half a generation live beneath the breadline. Oh, but it's happy hour on the high street. Friday night at last, lads. My treat. All went fine till that kid got glassed in the last bar. Place went nuts. You can ask Arlu. It was a madness. The road ran red, pure claret. I want about them immigrants. I can't stand them. Mostly I mind my own business. They're only coming over here to get rich. It's a sickness. And England, England, patriotism. And you wonder why kids want to die for a living. It goes work all your life for a pittance. Maybe you'll make it to manager. Pray for a raise. Cross the beige days off on your beach babe calendar. The anarchists are desperate for something to smash. Scandalous pictures of fashionable rappers in glamorous magazines. I mean, who is dating who? Political cash in an envelope. Caught sniffing lines off a prostitute's prosthetic tits. It was back to the House of Lords with slap wrists. They have dark kids. They fuck the heads of dead pigs. But him in the hoodie with a couple of spliffs, jail him, he's the criminal. It's the bored of it all generation. The product of product placement and manipulation. Shoot 'em up brutal, duty of care. Come on, new shoes, beautiful hair. Bullshit, saccharine ballads and selfies and selfies and selfies. Here's me outside the palace of me. Construct of self and psychosis, and meanwhile the people were dead in their droves and nobody noticed. No, wait, my mistake. Somebody noticed. I could tell by the fucking emoji he posted. Sleep like a gloved hand covers our eyes. The lights are so nice and bright, so let's dream. But some of us are stuck like stones in a slipstream. What am I gonna do to wake up What am I gonna do to wake up? We are lost, we are lost, we are lost. And still nothing will stop, nothing pauses. We have ambitions and friendships and courtships to think of, divorces, to drink off the thought of. The money, the oil. The planet is shaking and spoiled. Your life is a plaything, a garment to soil. The toil, the toil. I can't see an ending at all, only the end. So tell me, how is this something to cherish when the tribesmen are dead in their deserts to make room for alien structures? Develop, kill what you find if it threatens you. No trace of love in the hunt for the bigger buck. Here in a land where nobody gives a fuck. What am I gonna do to wake up? What am I gonna do to wake up? Across the street, in the flat with the colourful curtains, Alicia is wrapped in her blankets. Head leant back on the wall, she's looking for purpose, gripping her knees, she is shaking and nervous. Alicia keeps a brave face on all day long, but right now, the brave face has gone. Something in the changing season prickled in her skin all day, sucked her back through time and left her feeling far away. He was in her dream. She hasn't dreamt of him for months. She's so tired when she sleeps, she doesn't really dream at all. But there he was, holding his belly, he had blood on his shirt. She heard him scream her name, and then she saw him fall. Alicia wipes her face and whispers to herself, was just a dream. She sniffs and nods and dries her eyes. She checks the time. It's 4:18. It's a strange thing. Your face seems to fade with the changing seasons. Then for some reason it comes back, more present than ever. Not your face, really, more a sense of you. Even though I know it's happened, it's no more comprehensible than if it was an abstract thing, someone else's friend. Are you asking me for something? Is there something I should do? This is hard on your mother, she lost your little brother too. But your sister's doing good, man, she's smart like you. She'll finish her degree next year, try and find a job, I suppose. She's got her head screwed on right, you don't have to worry. But is there something else though? 'Cause if there is, I'm sorry. I can't really think what you might want from me. I heard your voice so loud it woke me up. I don't believe in ghosts. I heard your voice so loud it woke me up. I don't believe in ghosts. Work's fine, life's good. Ty's nearly 4 now, smart enough to walk round and hear what I don't say. The night it happened is vivid in my brain, won't fade. Life is long still, some things don't change. Be nice to fall in love again, that ain't gonna happen soon. I'm trying to get some money saved, fix up the living room. I nearly got in trouble, I got angry with my manager. There's this young girl who works with us, he tried to put his hands on her. It's such a waste. So many idiots alive and kicking. Why'd it have to be the only sane man in town? I'm probably only saying that because you're not around, but I'm keeping my chin up though I won't let it get me down. I heard your voice so loud it woke me up. I don't believe in ghosts. You're with me all the time. I think I know you better than I did when we were hanging out together. What's it like where you've gone? I can feel it, it's okay, I know you can't say, but you've been with me all day. I have to tell you, when it happened, I couldn't cry for ages until it hit me, and then I screamed like a lion in a cage. Look, man, I fasted. I didn't eat a thing for like 2 weeks, and I just walked across the heath in the rain, spitting bars to the grass, listening to the cars skidding past. I thought life would get more real or something more fast, but it didn't. When I look at your son though, life's hidden. Meanings come to the front of my vision and it's weird. The way I see it right now, it's so strong. I'd never be the person I'd become if you had never gone. Everything's connected, right? Everything's connected. Even if I can't read the signs, everything's a message. We die so that others can be born. We age so that others can be young. The point of life is live, love if you can, and then pass it on. We die so that others can be born. We age so that others can be young. The point of life is live, love if you can, and then pass it on. Love if you can, and then pass it on. Love if you can, and then pass it on. Well, now who's this? Staggering home, jabbering, looking like some street smart, arrogant gnome. Feet sticking to the curbs like javelins thrown, his gesturing wildly, having full-blown conversations with himself, saying, haven't you grown, to his face in the windows, grimacing, grappling with half a cigarette, not managing. This is Pete. Pete grew up on this street. He moved away, he's back living at his dad's so he can save. Pete rigs stages at live events, but every time he gets paid, he gets wasted and wakes up with less than he made, and he hates it. But that's life, right? Fast-paced, shit-faced, low maintenance. And all of his mates are kind of on the same page. Basic wages, takes ages to get through the month, but then payday comes and it's drinks all round. Outrageous behavior, living right now, no sense of later. Pills by the pocketful, nights last days. And even if he never splashed out, he still couldn't make the rent on his own place. Face it. So now it's 4:18. Pete's 14 doors from home, and his thoughts are like a pack of starving dogs fighting over the last bone. No, anyway, what was I saying? Fuck it, mate, hold on, I'm coming up. Wait, good night, weren't it? Must have been. Burnt too much on the good stuff, lucky me. I looked up, I saw my future unravel in the lights. Funny, innit? I'll have that sinking feeling any minute. But you can't win a race unless you're running in it right. Can't get a taste unless you've taken a bite. Man, I'm climbing up the walls. Things are getting difficult, it's all take. I start early, work late. Putting in the hours for these drugs tokens. Love's a joke when your blood's pulsing. Love is real when you start choking. I'm double dropping in the vast ocean. State of me, mate. Basically the way I was made. You see, I've been getting on it since back in the day. Good place for a bad time, if you ask me. Trust me, nothing gets past me. Bad place for a good time, if you know what I mean. I never met no one like you. This feels like a dream. Whoops, back here again. How many times have I sworn it's the end? Whoops, I know this feeling. Shoveling the rubbish till I'm staring at the ceiling. Whoops, dancing to a shit tune. Hands in the air when it hits you. Whoopsie, I'm lying in my bed and my brain is eating my head. I got these demons I can't shake. My past is a vast place, can't get away. Life got grim back then like it does. Do you know how it feels to lose people you love? I like talking to you like this. You want to come back? Couple drinks, something like that? I got a gram on my nightstand. I got an 8 for Squidgy Black. I got a feeling that we're going to be friends. I got this song, I want to play it to you. I got this dream, I'm going to make it happen. I got this thing, I need to say it to you. You see, I've been writing poems. It's a thing that I do. Now, would you mind if I shared one with you? Sorry, course not. Right, sorry. This time of night. Sorry. Always end up spouting the same old shite. Sorry. Reminds me of this time I was trying to find my mind in the back of this rave and this kid was spilling blood all over the place. And I was looking out for someone to save or be saved by. And I found this paper plate. I started writing. Oh, it felt fucking great. I knew then me and the pen, we were one and the same. Look, I can't take the strain of the days. I'm pretty sure I'm halfway to insane. You got such a nice face and your eyes are like rain. I try and kiss you if I could just remember your name. Whoops, back here then, suppose. Don't watch the state of my nose. Whoops, my jaw's gone west and I started getting pains in my chest. Whoops, there goes my promise. All it took was 2 drinks till I got on it. Whoops, I swear this person isn't me. We did have fun though, didn't we? Didn't we? Above Pete's head, as he fumbles with his key, the sky gets dark. Starts growling. War games. Ancient faces pushing each other around. The sky is changing. A foaming storm is coming. A howling mist. A growling downpour. But Pete don't see it. Pete's too busy trying to make his key fit, and he can't quite get it right. Meanwhile, in their rooms, Alicia and Esther and Gemma are too concerned with their own thoughts to think about the weather. But we see the sky like furious ink. Thick liquid sinks and whips the wind. A pitch-shifted rumble screams from a swollen grin. There's a big storm rolling in. We came from the four corners. We are the raw waters that course. The four horsemen will drink from the water that pours. We carry the river, the reservoir, the residue, the rising waves, the sea spray, the inevitable churn and crush. Many voices in our vapors we surge and gush. We were steam in a distant heat. We move rapid over landscape, gathering speed. Desert land, city, forest and beach. Heading for the people asleep, ready to bleed. Unleash the torrents, come clean. We carry many lessons, let the water teach. But you better learn to swim or you'll get caught beneath. There's a hard rain falling on all the half-form, fast-walking, hard-talking, half fury, half boredom, fast-talking, half dead from exhaustion. Hard push, but the puddles keep forming. Don't fall in. Some saw us in their tea leaves. Some felt us in their knees. Most left it to the weathermen to tell them there was nothing to see. Now you can play dumb and ignore for so long, but we've been in the mountains getting strong. We've seen you, filling up your sky with the fumes, sitting in your rooms like you're all that ever lived, heads down to the lives of the others in your towns, running from the rains that you'd never been kissed. Leave your possessions and funds. Tell your friends that you've gone to make peace with the things you never done. Come dance in the deluge, spill like the flood. The weather vane swings, things will never change. Sing all those money men who close their eyes and pretend. These rumbles must be low plains, so strange. There's a hard rain falling on all the half-hearted, half-formed, fast-walking, half fury, half boredom, hard talking. Half dead from exhaustion, hard push, but the puddles keep forming. Don't fall in. And they will run to the highest hill, consult the old books, ask the dead mystics for wisdom they don't trust. The people will flock to the garages, stockpile canisters of gasoline, tinned fish and bandages. Count the seconds between the thunder and the lightning, scared of every other body running round, frightened. We can't carry on like this, they will mutter, staring with disgust at the people weeping in the gutter. We made no trouble, we played by the rules. We worked double shifts to get our kids through school, yes, but we were so focused on our own little part, we went ploughing on blind in the dark, no heart. Now, we're not the dread storm that will end things. We're just your playful, gale-force friend in these end times. Come to remind you, you're not an island. That life is much broader than borders, but who can afford to think over the walls of the fortress? Of course, it's important to provide roof and floorboards for you and yours. Yes, be secure in your fortunes, but you're more than the 3 or 4 you'd go to war for. You're part of a people that need your support, and whose world is it if it belongs to these corporates? The people are left on the doorstep, door shut, nauseous and tortured by all that they lost. There's a hard rain falling on all the half-hearted, half-formed, fast-walking, half fury, half boredom, hard talking. We are half dead from exhaustion, we're hard pushed, but the puddles keep forming. Don't fall in. Hard pushed, but the puddles keep forming. Don't fall in. Now, on the second floor of the new build block with the yellow door, next to another boarded up independent record store, Bradley is awake. Bradley's watching notches on his clock face, lying there thinking, limbs like fallen buildings, feeling like every day he's ever lived is out to kill him. Bradley's got a good job. He works in PR. He moved south a few months back. Top whack flat, all mod cons, got them wall-size windows. He's a Manchester boy done good in the big smoke. Young professional, single, Tinder and flings. Life seems simpler than it's ever been. And he's doing well. He's living the dream. He's paying his mortgage off. Bradley doesn't know why he's not sleeping at nights. He could get up, try and walk it off, but he's got to get to work in a matter of hours. Is he awake or asleep? He can't tell, he can't feel, he can't dream, he can't scream. He just stares at his screen. It says 4:18. Life's just a thing that he does. Bradley rolls over, cold pillow, warm body. At the end of his tether, as usual, he breathes softly. He burrows down deep and he closes his eyes. Bradley thinks, man, is this really what it means to be alive? The days go past like pictures on a screen. Sometimes I feel like my life is someone else's dream. Most days I'm dazed, walking round, I'm working, talking, perking up, but always feel I can't be certain that I've woken up at all. Is this life? Will this pass? This feeling that I'm looking at the world from behind glass, even when I'm laughing hard or falling on my arse or half plastered before it's even dark, or when some hard bastard barges past. When I'm passing my targets at work, I can't shake the feeling that life hasn't started. It's worse in the evenings at parties. I'm standing apart. My heart's hard, I can't hardly be heard. Still I'm harping on, barking out words. Is this me? Is this what I'm doing? I know I exist, but I don't feel a thing. I'm eclipsed, I'm elsewhere. And the worst part is, I don't think that I care. What am I gonna do to wake up? I know it's happening, but who's it happening to? Has this happened to you? I know it's happening, but who is it happening to? Has this happened to you? I know it's happening, but who's it happening to? Has this happened to you? I know it's happening, but who is it happening to? Has this happened? I try new things. I shoot films on my phone. I play them back when I'm alone. Did that happen? I walk around, trying to understand every sound, trying to make my feet connect with every inch of ground. The sky flattens, my cat battens me down. Everything's in its category. Package and sell, flattering girls. Battle reality is battle royale. Everyone's chattering. Nothing is real. Collect my salary, cooking a meal, rice and vegetables. I exercise regularly, but how do I feel? Whistle a melody. Is this all that's ahead of me? I always thought that life would mean more to me eventually. I hate to think I'll make it to 70, potentially 75. Realize I've never been alive. Spend the rest of my days regretting, wishing I could be forgetting. I know it's happening, but who's it happening to? Has this happened to you? I know it's happening, but who is it happening to? Has this happened to you? I know it's happening, but who's it happening to? Has this happened to you? I know it's happening, but who is it happening to? Has this happened to you? Now, just 2 doors down from Bradley, in the old ramshackle house, with the broken down porch and the novelty doorbell, Zoe plays her music low. She's got a bottle on the go. Everything's in boxes. It's been a long night packing. Her clothes are in black bin bags. The blue tack greases the paintwork. She's like, yeah, but what the fuck is all this stuff? There's the road signs stolen from Quick Shag Street. Shirts and skirts, posters, CDs, comedy coasters, broken TV. There's the birthday card that her sister made in the distant past when she turned 13. Hair stuff, books, love letters she can't bin. Outside the night, inside it's the last hurrah. There's her limited edition Air Max 110s next to her Che Guevara bust, complete with his ornamental glass cigar. Now for years, the landlord never fixed the shower. The mold kept growing up the kitchen walls. He'd do it up nice now, sure, repaint it. He's tripled the rent, he's gonna get it and all. Zoe's only got a few hours left to get her room all packed and clean. She goes to the window, she lights up a smoke, she looks down at her street. It's 4:18. The squats we used to party in our flats we can't afford. The dumps we did are dancing in have all been restored. Pints are up to quid, the staff are beautiful and bored. You think it's coming up round here, it's falling on its sword. It don't feel like home no more. I don't speak the lingo. Since when was this a winery? This used to be the bingo. I've walked these streets for all my life. They know me like no other. But the streets have changed. I no longer feel them shudder. All right, I get the gist. Whose city is this? It doesn't want us no more. I've had a glimpse into the future, it stinks. London's a walled fort, all for the rich. If you fall short, you fall and you know where the door is. Board up the broken, do it up, sell it back, make it bespoke, it's all out in the open, it's fine, man. Hike the price right up and then smile with your friends in the posh new nightclubs. My streets have been dug up, repaved, new routes for commuters, the landscapes have changed. I'm looking for the old tags, the graphs that once meant safe territory, but it seems every hieroglyph gets whitewashed eventually. And so I'm moving on. I've got it all to play for. I'll be the invader in some other neighborhood. I'll be sipping perfect coffee, thinking this is pretty good. While the locals grit their teeth and hum, another fucking one has come. All I see is luxury tenements, woebegone residents, redolent resin heads puffing on pleasure. Everyone's reckoning, something is beckoning. There's never a minute, man, there's only forever. Towering tower blocks, scaffolding, rattling. The tube is a battering ram full of passengers, smashing its way into town. We are scavengers, sloshing around in the sludge for our sustenance. Paradise party life, pushing our shoulders into the mold. Yes, we do what we're told. We are Sisyphus, pushing his boulder. Yes, the kids are all right, but the kids will get older. The kids are all right, but the kids will get older. Up the stairwell, chip fat grey and London green with damp. Out on the 5th floor where the wind grips your jaw and holds you in its clamp, there is a red door bordered by mottled glass, and inside there is a lighted lamp. Pius lives here. Pius can't sleep. She twitches, wired. She lies beside a sleeping body, a girl she barely knows. She met her in the pub, and it went the way it goes. The girl's name is Rose. Pius is lovesick for her thorn. Her thorn left it in the summer. Since then, Pius can't get warm. She's carried her, stuck in her side, since the day that she was born. She dreamed of her and knew her shape long before she saw her form. Well, now it's 4:18. Pius has been staring at the walls for hours. She tells herself that it's all her fault. She doesn't love, she just devours. Can't sleep, so much to do, trying to get closer to you, and you're so far away, trying to get hold of what's true. And what's true isn't true when it's day. Tell me, how can I sleep? There is so much to do. I am trying to get closer to you and you're so far away. All that I say and I do are things that you do and you say. How come I'm becoming the one that I'm running from, hunted by, slurring my words in the pub, feeling nervous and overexcited, arms round the waist of a girl who might make it all right for a night. Yeah, she takes me to pieces. But then I lie beside her awake while she sleeps, and I feel much closer to you than I felt when you were still here. Spill beer till you reappear. I'm thinking of you and the things you do to me. I'm thinking of you and the things you do to me. Pain in my liver, okay, shame. So much shame, can't bear my frame. Can't bear your name, okay, can't play this game. Let's play new rules, old rituals. Guilt trip, heartstrings snap. Want to, can't go back. Too much, or is it not enough? It's just I can't get your claws out my guts. And I'm thinking of you and the things you do to me. I'm thinking of you and the things you do to me. This is my mind, get out of it. You didn't want it, how come you're still hanging around in it? This is my body, let go of it. You didn't want it, how come you're still fucking controlling it? This is my night, get lost in it. This is my bridge, stop crossing it. This is my face, stop smiling. This is my space. You've been gone so long, how come I still find you hiding, fighting me? I'm fighting, the night is sharp, I'm frightened, nightmares tighten my hands round my own throat. Cause you're the snake charmer and I'm the old rope. No hope, just go now, please, just leave. Still in the air that I breathe, I'm stranded. Arms outstretched for a body, anybody, here's a body. But I wake up, I can't stand them. I feel so grubby. Don't want, can't stop, just love me. Breath like a cigarette stubbed in the gutter. Come close, no wait, don't touch me, it's ugly. Push and pull phone call, beep beep, looking through names for the one that feels the most dangerous. I can't believe you're in love again. I can't open my heart to anybody but strangers. I'm thinking of you and the things you do to me. I'm thinking of you and the things you do to me. So here is our moment, frozen. We have seen our 7 unmoving in their lonely homes. It's been 4:18 and dawn is still hours off yet. My gosh, and they are cold and listless. They're not quite sure that they exist. Here, in this moment, slow and viscous, lips haunted by the ghosts of kisses, there is the endless saturation of the days. And here they are. There is nothing moving but their breath. But watch now, as the breaking storm outside brings this moment into action. The sky cracks into a wild-mouthed grin and unleashes all the water that it's carried. Vapor grown heavy from every distant puddle, every lapping wave tip, every single churning river is contributing to this rain. So Pete, on his doorstep, looks up, mouth agape. He drops his keys in shock and laughs a howling, ancient laugh. Esther unleashes a strange bark into the silence of her kitchen. Gemma sits bolt upright in bed and stares at the rain as it smashes itself against her windows. Zoe puts her boxes down. Bradley reaches for his dressing gown. See it from above. 7 doors to 7 flats open at the same time and light the raining pavement. 7 broken hearts, 7 empty faces, heading out of doors. Here's our 7 perfect strangers. And they see each other, strangely dressed, one shoe and one slipper, socks falling off. Slowly at first, tentatively, but then unhunching their shoulders, tipping their heads back, opening their bodies to this rain, this rain, this rain, this rain. And their hair is slicked down against their heads or it's puffed up madly outwards, and their hands are slipping from their cheeks and chins as they clutch their faces, open-mouthed. Amazing, they shout. Have you seen it? They shout as they flock like children into the eye of a game, shocked and laughing, standing in it, standing in it, standing in it, standing in it. soaked to the skin. Indigenous apocalypse, decimated forests. The winter of our discontent's upon us. Indigenous apocalypse, decimated forests. The winter of our discontent's upon us. The desolate apostles slurp their strongbow at the crossroads. And we are nothing but an eating mouth, esophagus colossal. We won't stop until we've beaten down a planet into pellets before the interstellar mission to inflict more terror. It's killing me, it's killing me, it's filling me, I'm vomiting, it's still in me. Everything is fine, really, silly me. Poor kids shot dead, poor kids locked up, poor kids saying, this is the future that you left us. Stocked up lunch meat, processed punch from an unclean fat cat, tasty, tasty poison. Carcinogenic, diabetic, asthmatic, epileptic, post-traumatic, bipolar and disaffected, atomized. Thinking we're engaged when we're pacified, staring at the screen so we don't have to see the planet die. What am I gonna do to wake up? We sleep so deep it don't matter how they shake us. If we can't face it, we can't escape it. If I can't face it, I can't escape it. She's screaming, she's screaming. The drones turned her beautiful boy into a pile of bones. Nobody to bury, nobody is home. Running from war, the boat's full, the boat's sinking a mile offshore. No beds in the hospitals, our minds are against us. Imagine your daughter was gunned down defenseless on her way to school. There'd be uproar. But she's collateral damage, it never happened. Now if our kids are fine, that's enough for us. We say, you can't love into a vacuum, there's got to be a limit. Welcome to the biggest crime that's ever been committed. You think you and I are different kinds? You're caught up in specifics. You and I apart are much easier to limit. The illusion's so complete, it's impossible to bring it into focus. Cinematic stock footage teaches people are locusts while uniformed men keep unleashing explosives. But what am I gonna do to wake up? I sleep so deep it don't matter how they shake us. If we can't face it, we can't escape it. If we can't face it, if we can't face it. Tunnel vision, tunnel vision. Work drinks, heartbreak. Can't face the past a dark place. Can't sleep, can't wake, sitting in our boxes, notching up our victories as other people's losses. Another day, another chance to turn my face away from pain. Let's get a takeaway. I'll meet you in the pub a little later, say the same things as ever. Life's a waiting game. When are we gonna see that life is happening? Right now. That every single body bleeding on its knees is an abomination, and that every natural being is making communication, that we're just sparks, tiny little parts of a much bigger constellation. Minuscule molecules that make up one body. I reckon the tragedy and pain of a person you have never met is present in your nightmares, in your pull towards despair. The sickness in my culture and the sickness in our hearts is a sickness that's inflicted by the distance that we share. They were my bombs that started this war. And now it rages at distance, and so we dismiss all its victims as strangers. These are parents and children made dogs by this danger. But existence is futile, so we don't engage. They were my boats that sailed, killed, stole, and made frail. They were my boots that stamped. They were my courts that jailed. They were my fucking banks that got bailed. And it was us who turned bleakly away. Look back down at our nails and our wedding plans in the face of a full force gale. Said it's not up to us to make this place a better land. It's not up to us to make this place a better land. Justice, justice, recompense, humility. Trust is something we will never see until love is unconditional. The myth of the individual has left us disconnected, lost, and pitiful. I'm out in the street. It's a cold night in London, and I'm pleading with my loved ones to wake up and love more. On a stage, in front of a whole load of people I never met in my life, in a country I never been to, saying, please, wake up and love more.
I think we have time for a few questions, and I know it's very strange to experience a performance like that and to process we have very little time, so if anybody has a question for Kate. Yes, the gentleman over there, there's a gentleman over here.
If the question is, how do you remember it all? Don't ask it.
Okay.
Go ahead, make it concise, please.
So I wanted to ask you, what's your writing process?
It changes all the time. Generally speaking, I write as often as I can, and I usually have to go through many very long, sloppy, kind of instinctive drafts that then I have to chip away at. I like to write in big, long bursts of like 1 week, full pelt, and then leave it for a few months, and then come back to it. So I write very well when I've got a whole week to dedicate to one thing, and then I can't go back to it for a few months because I've got a tour and things like that. It's meaningless me even telling you this because it changes all the time.
There's a man over there. The purple shirt.
Hi, my question is, you use a lot of internal rhymes, a lot of assonance and a lot of rhymes within your rhymes. Do you take some inspiration from rap music? Do you think that, I know that
Some.
UK has a lot of underground rap culture, so is that one of the influences?
Yeah, when I was a teenager, a young kid, I started off as a rapper. I was a rapper for many years, making music, long before I could ever dream of myself as a poet. I also take inspiration from lyrics, musical lyrics, not necessarily from hip-hop, but I fell in love with language through lyricism. It's still one of my primary sources of inspiration. But my scope has broadened as I've discovered poetry, the written word, the spoken word. And the important thing to say is that for a long time I didn't feel entitled to experience the works of great poets, etc., on my own terms. Falling in love with music taught me that entitlement means nothing. If it connects with you, it connects with you. Wherever you're from, whatever you're listening to, if you find it, it's for you, you know? And if it moves through you, it's for you. There's nothing worse, I think, than a long dead writer being studied in a way that feels like we've all died in the process. If it's for you, let it breathe in you, and I learned that. And so now I take inspiration wherever I find it, you know?
Yeah, the woman with the jacket.
One question, like all of these deep questions you talk about, like where did they come from? Your personal experience or observation?
Where do you think they come from?
Personal experience, I guess.
Well, what's important to say is that a poem is unfinished until it's heard. In that moment of it being received is the moment the poem is a poem. It's incomplete until it's read, experienced, felt, you know. So whatever you take it to mean is more important than what I tell you it should mean. So, you know, that's my way of avoiding your question completely.
There's the man in the t-shirt there, yeah.
Gosh, Kate, I'm totally gobsmacked. That was a bombastic performance. A quick question: how do you sort of reconcile this? There's a lot of mysticism there, but there's also sort of very stark, modern reality. I mean, it's almost like the marriage of heaven and hell, almost.
Well, The Marriage of Heaven and Hell is one of my favorite poems. In it, William Blake says, "You never know what is enough until you know what is more than enough." And he says, the road The pathway to hell is paved with good intentions. Did he say that? Yeah, he said, anyway, it's one of my favorite poems. I'm glad that you picked that up. I think that one thing I should just say is I'm fucking exhausted, and I feel like it's a bit random, like doing this Q&A, but I think, hold on, let me tell you why. It's important for me. When I play music, I never get the chance to hear from the audience a question or something else. Also, this is my first time here, and I thought it was important that I listen as well as speak, you know, so I want you to know that I wanted to do these questions even though I'm making a bit of a mess of it because I feel a bit like I'm on another frequency. In answer to your question, I think all of us have to deal with the space between mysticism and the stark reality of a very unmystical, synthetic existence that we found ourselves in. Nothing has changed in the human experience of the sublime. In the way that we live in our lives, we have a space in us that needs to be filled, whether that's through mysticism, through music, through friendship, through love. We have so many things now which we can buy and purchase to try and fill this hole, but it does not compete with truth, you know? So I think all of us have to swim around in this murky space between feeling bound to something timeless and assaulted by something contemporary. Saying that, I'm very hopeful, and I've run out of steam. Yeah, I think I'm done. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.